Okay, let's dive right in. Today we're looking at something that honestly sounds like it's pulled straight from a sci-fi movie. But it's a real project, an AI that claims it can predict your crush. Yeah, seriously.
And that, of course, brings us to the big question, right? Can a piece of code, an algorithm, really figure out something as complex and, human as a crush? Let's find out.
While the folks behind this are making a pretty audacious claim. They're shooting for, get this, 75% accuracy. Just let that sink in. That's probably better than most of us are at figuring this stuff out on our own.
So what exactly is this thing? Well, it's not the next big dating app, or at least not yet. This is a final year project for computer science students. It's this really cool blend of heavy-duty data science and slick web development, all aimed at tackling one of life's oldest mysteries.
So the obvious next question is, how on earth does it actually work? What's going on under the hood? Let's peel back the layers and see what makes this AI tick.
Everything starts with a concept called feature engineering. Now that sounds super technical, I know, but it's really just a fancy way of saying you have to decide which clues or signals are important. And then you have to turn those real-world actions into numbers a computer can understand. You're literally trying to quantify a vibe. And what kind of data is it actually looking at? Well, the model gets trained on 10 specific behaviors. And they're pretty much what you'd expect, right? Things like how often you make eye contact, who starts the conversation, how fast someone replies to a message, even how close you tend to stand next to each other. These are the little breadcrumbs the AI follows. Now here's where it gets really clever. The system doesn't just rely on one single magical algorithm. Nope, it's more like a bake-off. It runs the data through 4 different methods. There's one that's built for pure accuracy, another that's good at explaining why it made a certain prediction, one that's great for messy, non-linear situations, and a simple one that acts as a baseline. Then it just picks the best result.
And this whole thing is built just like a professional piece of software. You've got the AI brain, the backend, which is totally separate from the user interface, what you actually see and click on. It's a really clean, smart, and scalable way to build an application like this.
So what does this actually look like for the person using it? Well, you can forget about boring spreadsheets and forms. They went for something way more creative. They call it the 3D hard interface. So instead of just a static web page, you're greeted with this really cool animated background with all these 3D hearts just kind of floating around. It's a fun visual touch that absolutely nails the theme, And this is how you actually see the AI's prediction. It's not just a simple yes or no, it actually shows you its work. You get these really cool interactive charts that display the confidence score, and this is the best part, it highlights which behaviors were the biggest dead giveaways.
Now remember, this is a student project that you can actually purchase. So, what do you actually get for your money? Let's take a look inside the box.
First off, let's talk price. It's just 99 rupees. I mean, that is ridiculously accessible. It puts a really complex, interesting project like this within reach for pretty much any student out there.
And you're not just getting a folder of code. You're getting the whole shebang, a true project in a box. We're talking the complete source code, the pre-trained models, the scripts to train your own models, detailed documentation, setup guides, even templates for your project report and your presentation slides. It's literally everything you need.
And if you happen to get stuck, there are even extra support options. You can pay a little more for add-ons, like having someone set it all up for you remotely, getting a 1-hour session to walk you through all the code, or even getting the documentation customized for your school's specific format. They've really thought of everything to make it a smooth experience. So look, this might have started as a student project, but the ideas at play here, they have some huge potential in the real world. Let's talk for a second about where this could go beyond just getting a grade.
The creators themselves see a bunch of different paths forward. This could easily be a tool for social psychology research, or maybe the engine that powers the next generation of dating apps. Or hey, it could just be a fantastic educational tool to teach students how to build this kind of sophisticated tech.
And that right there is the real magic of a project like this from a learning perspective. It perfectly bridges that gap between textbook theory and hands-on practical skills. You're not just reading about AI algorithms, you're actually implementing them. You're not just studying API architecture, you're building it. It turns abstract concepts into real, tangible experience.
At the end of the day, this project just hits that perfect sweet spot for a student. The topic, predicting a crush, is fun, it's relatable, it's easy to get excited about and present,
but the tech running behind the scenes is genuinely sophisticated stuff that's going to impress any professor or evaluator.
And all of this leaves us with one final, pretty big question to think about. As we get better and better at turning our own behaviors into data points, every glance, every message, every little interaction, you have to wonder, what part of the human experience are we going to try to put a number on next?